Next point I want to make is probably my favorite area that I've worked on and kind of perfected, which is learning how to sell. And this is something that I advise for all people, not just producers, but in life in general. You're going to want to learn how to sell your ideas, how to sell yourself as a person, as well as sell your products. Selling is not something new. It's not something that you can really avoid. You're going to have to sell your ideas at some point in time.
I appreciate all the support. If you guys would like and comment and subscribe to the channel, then we'll get into the video.
What's going on, guys? It's Kobe with Sample Source back with another video. So it's been a while since I posted a video, but I really want to get back to being consistent. So I'm going to start doing 2 videos a week and go from there. So if I don't post 2 videos a week, then you guys got to hold me to it. But basically what I want to get in today is what kind of steps do you have to go through in order to prepare to quit your job to sell beats for a living. So that's what this video is about. I've made a video on this before, kind of talking about my personal struggle with working a 9-to-5 and why it wasn't for me. And so this is why I kind of built up my business to get to this point so that I can do this for a living, because this is what I genuinely enjoy doing every day. So if you fit into that category and you really want to pursue this as a full-time career, then this video is for you. So I want to cover a few basic topics in this video. The first one that I'm going to cover today is perfecting your craft. So a lot of people say this, you have to put in time, you have to be consistent. All of this is true. And I probably produced for about 3 years solid before I even made my first sale back in 2017. So it's been a long journey for me to get to this point. I've been full-time for about 1.5 years now. So in the next 6 months, I'm going to be full-time for 2 years, and I'll have been producing for 7 years. So you're going to have to devote a lot of time into this, a lot of attention to detail, and you're going to have to be passionate about improving your craft over time. So I know when I first started making beats, my mixes were terrible, and the way I sequenced my beats was not up to par. So a lot of things have changed over the years. The elements that I use to create my beats, whether that's investing in a new drum kit, investing in a melody pack, investing in vocal samples, whatever it is, whatever kind of elements are coming together to make that perfect beat are going to need to be in place, so that artists are actually want to invest in your beats. So make sure you perfect your craft. Make sure that you're always working on improving your mixes. I always tell people whenever I'm doing consultations, most producers' mixes are almost there, but they're not quite industry standard yet. They're not quite to the point where it's going to blow you out of the water. It sits at kind of the average level. So if you can set yourself above average and have a great mix, that's going to be a great selling point for selling your beats. The second thing I want to get into is managing your time efficiently. So this is something that I had to do when I was working my job. I was working full-time, 40 hours a week. I did have a solid schedule. So I worked from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I had an hour lunch break at 11. So I knew that that was going to be pretty much my day unless I was working overtime on that particular day. So what I would do is on my lunch break, I only lived 10 minutes away from my home. So I was able to travel back there. Whether I was answering emails, getting on calls with artists to discuss custom beats or something like that, or even finishing up beats and uploading them on my lunch break, that was something I was able to knock out. So make sure you're not letting your job stay in the way of you being a producer. Make sure you're putting in the kind of time that you need to actually excel at your craft and get all your business done. So also, I would get my dinner made, I would go to the gym, get everything out of the way, and then I would get back to the crib and start making beats. So this is something that I would advise you to do, which is to choose something to sacrifice. So you can either sacrifice hanging out with friends, watching TV, playing video games, but you have to sacrifice something in order to make time for what you're passionate about. So I just decided to sacrifice for a year going out and doing all of the things that I enjoy doing so that I could really build up my business. So this is something that I decided to do. You don't have to personally do that. If you decide that a 9-to-5 is for you and it's something that you enjoy doing and you have a good job, then I don't advise that you go into this because it's going to take up every second that you have. You're going to have to make sure that you're devoted to this if you want to go through with it. So that would be my advice to you. Make sure you manage your time well. Make sure you're not slacking off and spending time in areas that are not pushing you towards being better at your business and better at being a music producer. So I would spend my off time learning more about production on YouTube. I would also spend it uploading beats to YouTube as well and to Instagram and just posting, trying to build my audience and build my engagement up. So that kind of segues into my next point, which is to build your audience. Make sure that you're devoting attention into building on a platform, Instagram, YouTube. I've seen producers who are killing it on Twitter. And there's also producers that really only promote their beats on the actual beat selling sites as well as through email marketing. So I know Dylan, Graham, and DJ Payne are great examples of email marketing. They have large email lists. with a lot of beat buying artists. So that's something that you might want to pay attention to, is making sure you're building your audience. It doesn't have to be on a social platform, but a social platform is a great lead magnet. So you can put in your link tree something like get 3 free beats or something like that, and that can direct them to MailChimp and get them into your email list. So make sure that you are devoting time into building up some kind of audience, some kind of fan base. So you want people to be interested in your beats to start out with, but you also want to be collecting their data and their information, whether that's their phone number, an email, or something like that. So that would be my advice to you guys. I know it took me several years to build my Instagram up to where it is today. I chose Instagram because it's great for engaging with your followers. You can send voice notes on it. You can send video messages. You can get on live. You can do so many things to engage with those that are part of your fan base. So that's why I chose Instagram, but Twitter is a great platform as well as YouTube. Let's move on to the next point. This is learning how to present your work. This took me a while. It also took a lot of experimentation to get to the point where I'm at today, which is finding higher engagement topics. Few things that I like to post are beats. I also try to post motivational tweets as well. And I try to post a lot of stories so that can keep people engaged. But for the most part, the motivational posts that I do on Instagram do much better than my actual beats. This is great for engagement. It's also great for exposing my platform to a wider fan base. So I know when I post things, a lot of people will share them, a lot of people will save them, and that way it gets to their followers. So when you're engaging with your followers, it's going to give you a broader audience to market to, and a lot of those people end up following me. So that's the plus side of that, as well as posting beats so that people are constantly seeing you put out new work. They're constantly seeing the progress that you're getting from your beats. And sometimes people will send me a post that I've just posted and say that they want that beat, or they want me to finish up a particular idea, and that way I can get business from that as well. The next point I want to make is probably my favorite area that I've worked on and kind of perfected, which is learning how to sell. And this is something that I advise for all people, not just producers, but in life in general. You're going to want to learn how to sell your ideas, how to sell yourself as a person, as well as sell your products. So selling is not something new. It's not something that you can really avoid. You're going to have to sell your ideas at some point in time. So even if you're on YouTube and you say, I don't want to sell beats in person, I just want to post beats and let them sell themselves, you're still presenting your beats with the artwork. It has a description and it has a purchase link. So you're selling on some level. The way that I prefer to sell personally, though, is through voice messages on Instagram. So I'll send about 20 voice messages every single day. I'll go and find a bunch of artists on Instagram and I'll hit them up. All the ones that I really mess with their music and I genuinely enjoy listening to, I'll hit them up and try to sell to them. And it's not some kind of dirty secret that I try to hide. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm able to sell my beats to artists. It's not like I'm getting away with something. I'm selling them quality professional level beats. And a lot of times when I hit them up, they're very thankful that I reached out to them and they really want to work with me. So on the plus side of it, a lot of these people end up coming and buying beats from me, and a lot of them I end up having long-term relationships with, so it's beneficial for both parties. When I first started trying to sell beats on Instagram, I would just hit artists up. I was really just spamming them with DMs, and a lot of the times they wouldn't even respond, and the people that did respond were usually lower tier artists that didn't want to buy anything. They just wanted to collab or something like that. And this is something that I see way too often, is producers saying that artists are corny, artists don't want to buy beats, and they're always posting memes about artists that are demeaning. And I think that this is a negative thing that needs to stop in the music producer community, because artists want to invest in themselves. They want to purchase beats, but a lot of times the producers, me, myself included, are not presenting ourselves in a professional manner. And that way, when the artist looks at us and they see that we're not being professional, then they're not going to return the energy and be professional with us. So make sure that you're presenting yourself as a professional and you're presenting yourself in the best way possible so that you can be genuine with the artist and explain what you're actually offering in a good amount of detail so that they can see the value in what you're offering. So when you can explain the value of what you're offering, most artists, if not all artists, are going to at least be interested in what you have to offer. Whether or not they have a budget or not, that's up to them, but you can at least offer them your goods and services and see if they're interested. So like I said, when I sit down, I'll message a lot of artists, and later on, if some of them respond and they're interested, but they never have gotten back to me, then I'll follow up with them. And this kind of moves me on to my next and final point, which is to be organized. And so this is something that a lot of producers don't do. They're not organized. They don't have their stuff in order. And the way that I like to say organized is by using Google spreadsheets. So I have a lot of Google spreadsheets, and there's one for following up with artists. There's one for the leads that I've generated that I reach out to, and I can tell whether I've reached out to them, and I can tell whether they're interested or not just by filling in the information on my spreadsheet. So whenever it's time to follow up, I will see who was interested, who wanted to buy beats, and I'll go through and hit them up and see if they're still interested or not, or if they forgot to hit me back up. So this is very beneficial. It leads to more sales. And by keeping myself organized, I'm able to budget my energy into more productive tasks. And one of the things that I make sure I keep track of is my expenses and my spending. So I make sure every time I have a business expense that I put it down so that I can deduct it from my taxes, as well as keeping track of my spending. And this is personal and business side, so that I can tell how much profit I'm earning every month. And this is what keeps me in business, and is what is going to keep me in business year after year, is keeping track of my expenses, seeing how much profit I'm making and how much I can reinvest back into the business, how much I need to put in savings, and so on and so forth. So I hope that this video has been beneficial for you guys, and I hope that I've been sharing information that's valuable with you guys. If I have, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like and comment on this video. It really helps out the channel. I'm still a small channel, but I'm growing at a fast pace. So I want to make sure that I keep offering gems and value to the music producer community. But I appreciate you guys if you stuck with me this far. And also, before I get out of here, I want to make sure that you guys know I do have products available. If you want to learn exactly how I sell beats online for a living, then I have in the description my beat selling guide, and you can get 20% off by putting in my deal at checkout. All of that's on the website. And if you need a consultation from me, then we can set that up on Zoom. There's a link in the description where you can purchase the consultation and then shoot me an email so that we can set it up on Zoom. But I'll see you guys in the next video.